So now that we have our Pantheon account ready to go, we're going to click this Create Your First Site button.
So we start off by just giving our store a name, which we're going to be calling Kickstart Web Store, and you'll be able to see there's the URL below that.
Then click the Create Site button, and this is going to move us along so we can create our new Drupal site. It's important to click Start from Scratch here, and you will then be able to create your Drupal site. You could create just a standard Drupal 7, but that is not what we want. We want to actually go ahead and find Commerce Kickstart.
And this is, again, another reason why we chose to work with Pantheon on this is they give you an out-of-the-box, ready-to-roll e-commerce website. So by clicking on that button, we are getting all of the modules and requirements needed to set up and have an e-commerce site instantly.
So we're going to click this Visit Your Pantheon Dashboard button now that the site is ready. And this is going to provide us the Pantheon interface. And this might be a little intimidating when you first see it, but don't worry, we're not going to go through it too much right now, but in later videos we will walk through what all of these buttons do and what everything means. One important thing you're going to want to do right away is check this SFTP button. You can either use SFTP mode or Git mode. We want to use SFTP mode because that'll make it easier for you to install your modules on your Drupal site. So the important thing is once you check or click that button, you're going to want to click Visit Development Site. And since this is the first time we actually have come to this website, it's going to ask us to install a bunch of the things that are needed in order to get your commerce store running. So we're going to go ahead and click the I agree button. And you can read this and figure out for yourself if you are actually going to agree. And I'm going to click the Let's Get Started button. And this is going to take us through the setup, and this is going to take a little time as well. What this is actually doing in the background is it's turning on a bunch of Drupal modules, which if you're not familiar with Drupal or what Drupal modules are, it basically allows you to turn on or add additional features and functionality to your website. So you can basically look out on the internet and find other Drupal modules on the Drupal.org website and install them onto your own site. But in this case, all the modules are there already because we're using Commerce Kickstart, and it's simply going through and turning all the required modules on for us. Okay, so now here you are going to enter in all the necessary information about your site. So our store name, we're going to go ahead and call this Code Karate Web Store. You want to give it a store email address.
Some of this information can be changed later on, but obviously it's kind of nice to get it set up the right way the first time.
You can either use the username admin, and it will say the information will be emailed to the store email address, or you can set it right here.
Yeah, let's be honest, you probably should set more of a secure password than admin, just because this would obviously be able to control your entire site. So set a relatively strong password here, write it down, and put it into a place you can find it again.
So once we have our username and password, we are going to come down and configure the server settings. This one is pretty basic. Just select your country and what your time zone is that you want your website to use, and click the Save and Continue button. The next step is now to configure a few other settings about your basic install. The default store country, which should be the same as the country you selected the last time. If you want to install the demo store, you can click yes. We're not going to because we're going to actually show you how to create it yourself. And then you don't have to go through and delete all the example products.
And this section below, this additional functionality is really where you need to select the boxes that apply to your store. Obviously, we're going to be showing you how to do the ones that we're clicking on here. But one we're not going to use is blog functionality. And most of you are going to be familiar with what a blog is, but that's just going to allow you to post content on your site about your product, your store, or anything else that you find interesting.
Yep, so we're going to allow checkout for anonymous users. What that means is that anyone who, even if they don't have an account on your site, they can still buy a product without having to create an account first. That's just a nice thing to have. additional blocks for featuring specific content allows you to position and add a few different things to your site, such as featured products or other types of content that comes preloaded with Drupal Commerce. The front page slideshow is a slideshow of images that you're going to be able to allow your users or visitors to see. And then the custom admin menu is one you're going to want so you can follow along. If you don't have that, it's going to be hard to find the same types of pages that we're looking at. The social logins, everyone knows the social network is, so this is going to allow a little bit better integration with that. And we want the zoom and gallery mode for our products so you can have a better looking product images. There is a pretty good translation system if you need multiple languages within Drupal, but that's way beyond the scope of what we're covering here, so we're going to leave that to no. We'll go ahead and leave the currency as United States dollar, and we're not going to use a sample tax rate because we're going to create one on our own throughout this course.
So that is the bulk of the setup process you're going to need to do. Again, Commerce Kickstart here is going to install a few more modules based on the selections that you made previously. And once that's done, you're going to have, for the most part, a functional e-commerce website. Of course, we're still going to need to customize it, which is what the whole course is about. So that's kind of the starting point of getting your Drupal Commerce online store installed.
And the important thing to really remember what it's doing is it's installing things on your own website, and you're going to own everything that's on this website, all the code, all the files, and what that allows you to do is really have ultimate flexibility with where you want to host it. Maybe someday you don't want to host it on Pantheon. That's fine. You're definitely not locked into their hosting platform. You could take this and host it anywhere else you'd want to.
All right, man. Well, there we go. There's our complete site set up. The first thing that loads up is a help section. This is basically exactly what it sounds like. This is a section that allows you to discover how to add certain things to your site. I mean, most of the stuff covered in this help section will be covered in videos that follow this one. But just know if you need a quick hint or a quick little guide on how to do a variety of things, this help section does exist under the help menu right there. It has different videos as well as articles.
Okay, well, that's it for this time, and we'll cover kind of what your store comes with in the next video here.